Hey, what's up, good people? I'm QC. Glad you're here for another Talking and Grubbing live nightly digital show. Definitely got a good show lined up for you tonight. Glad you tuned in. There's definitely some things I want to talk about. And I hope everybody had a good weekend. First, I'm going to get into the Brawl at Cam's 7-on-7 camp. And mama, there goes that man. Mark Jackson is back with an all-new podcast. That and more tonight on Talking and Grubbing live nightly digital show, which kicks off right here and right now. Hey, what's up, good people? I'm QC. Welcome to a brand new Talking and Grubbing live nightly digital show. How's everybody doing on this Monday night? Hope everybody's doing good. I'm doing good. Hope all you had a great weekend. My weekend was good. My guy Daniel Berry Sports Highlights. What's up, man? How you doing? Thanks for joining me. Check out his channel. He definitely does his thing with the sports highlights over there. Yep, this was a definitely was a good weekend. Oops, sorry about that. All right. It's not going to be too long of a show because I have a couple of things to do. So let's get into it. And here's my first story tonight. Over the weekend, during his 7-on-7 football camp, former NFL MVP, star quarterback Cam Newton was involved in a scuffle during his during his 7-on-7 football camp in his hometown Atlanta. It was following the 7-on-7 matchup where a few former business associates of his sponsor and a few others got into a altercation. Matter of fact, let me pull up the video here. And Cam had to restrain a couple of the attackers. I'm going to blow this up for you. Here it is right here. And Cam was just throwing a lot of those dudes off. That dude was looking like Thor out there. Now, most people don't know what the assault, what the whole scuffle was about. But one of the former associates made a little video before the scuffle broke out, saying that he was better than Cam and Cam couldn't beat him. It was just saying all kind of insulting things. Turns out that He was one of the former business partners of the sponsor, which is called Top Shelf Performance, which does a lot of sports sponsorships for football camps around the country. Now, no one knows what the dispute was about or why it happened, but this don't make any sense. I mean, Cam seems like a good dude. Now, has he been perfect on things? No, but when it comes to stuff like this, it seems like his heart is in the right place. And all this man wanted to do was trying to do is go back to his hometown, go back to communities who don't get the opportunity to go to these expensive football camps due to the fact that a lot of inner city parents can't afford it due to the fact they have some economic issues. So Cam is trying to bring this to them and show them, trying to teach them how to be, his camp, is trying to teach them how to be disciplined, also how to take directions, how to be a leader, and also prepare them for lessons outside of the field. But then you got a lot of these idiots who were grown men, by the way. A lot of people have assumed these were teenagers, but these were grown men, getting into it at a football camp. I mean, like, come on, really? You gonna do this at a football camp in front of these kids where you're supposed to be mentoring them, showing them leadership, how to be example in the community as well as for their families, and you're doing this BS? Come on. Y'all wouldn't do this crap at no Peyton Manning camp, Eli Manning camp, Tom Brady camp, or even an Aaron Rodgers camp. And I have my issues with Aaron Rodgers. Or you wouldn't be doing this at a Brett Favre, a.k.a. Brett Favre, the welfare king with the Burger King hat on. You wouldn't be doing that at his camp either. But you do this at his camp? Like, come on. What kind of crap is that? And I was telling this to a coworker of mine earlier today that it seems like now these adults are nothing but little ass kids, and these kids are just little adults. And you wonder why you can't tell a lot of these kids today nothing and how they look at us as a joke. Because they're like, look at what y'all doing. What can you tell me? In some ways, I can't blame them because we're dropping the ball. Because we're doing crap like this. It's like, come on, man. This guy's trying to do something good for the community. He's trying to bring something to his hometown. He knows there's a lot of kids in his hometown of Atlanta that had football dreams like he did when he was a kid and can't go to these big football camps. So he said, hey, I'm going to bring it to my community. I'm going to bring it to my hometown. So, these kids won't feel left out or feel like, that they don't got the proper, prepping to get looked at by these college scouts or these high school football scouts just because they're not at the camps where a lot of them are going to be. But you see them, but then you got some of these grown folks that sit up and ruin it for these kids. It's like, come on, it's not about you. Your days are over. It's these kids' time now. Stop living through your kids. That just made me upset. And yeah, I wouldn't blame Cam if he didn't bring it back, or if he does, instead of just having security, have a bunch of off-duty cops there. But I think Cam's heart is in the right place, and I think he's going to do this again. I don't think it's going to deter him from wanting to do that for the community. But in some ways, I can't blame him. It's like, man, when are we going to get it, as a black community? Like, come on, it just shows that to me, that video shows the level of jealousy and self-hate we got for each other. And that stuff needs to stop. That definitely needs to stop. All right, good people. I'm going to take a quick commercial break. I'll be right back, so don't go away. This show is brought to you by BetUs.com. Sign up now using my link and you'll get a 125% sign up bonus on your first 3 deposits plus 10% gambler's insurance. More opportunities to bet, more chances to win, and you get a fair payout with your winnings. BetUS, where the game begins. All right, I'm back, good people. On to the next story. Well, Mark Jackson is back in the media once again. This time, he has a new podcast out called The Mark Jackson Show, which premiered today on the Come Talk to Me channel on YouTube. Now, for those who don't know what the Come to Me channel is, it's operated by rappers Cameron and Mace. They also have the podcast of the same name on there too. It's a really good podcast. They're just crazy on that podcast. But as we all know, last year, ESPN had massive layoffs. Surprisingly, Mark Jackson was a part of those layoffs after being on ESPN for a little over 15 years, calling multiple NBA games for ESPN and ABC, including many NBA finals. Now, on this new podcast he has with his son, Mark Jackson II, it premiered today on the channel I just told you about. Here's a little audio clip, and I'll be back with my take. All right. Definitely check out the first episode of the Mark Jackson Show on the Come and Talk to Me channel. That was definitely a good podcast, and it's pretty cool that he brought his son along with him. And that was a pretty good first episode. They, of course, talked about LeBron, talking about recently coming out about how he wants to end his career, as well as what the greats are going to be, coming behind him after he retires. It's a pretty good podcast, and I definitely can't wait to hear more about it. I always liked Mark Jackson as an analyst when he was on ESPN/ABC, and I definitely thought definitely thought he was done dirty by them. Just like I thought he was done dirty by the Golden State Warriors when he was a head coach. But I'm glad to see that Mark Jackson's, back in front of us once again, and I can't wait to hear more of his podcast. Now, before he started his podcast, he also got an offer from the adult cam website, Cam Soda. Now, I don't know about you, but I couldn't imagine Mark Jackson doing commentary for a live adult show. That's just me. You know. All right, I'm going to take a quick pause. I'll be right back and show you all the comments I've been getting from a lot of MJ fans about my No Bull Tour video. Stick around. I'll be right back. All right, I'm back, good people. Now, I recently posted Scottie Pippen, Horace Grant, and Luke Longley going on this No Bull tour to talk about their time during during the 1990s playing for the Chicago Bulls, where the Bulls won 6 NBA championships in 8 years. Scottie Pippen was there for all 6. Horace Grant was there for the first three-peat. Luke Longley was there for the second three-peat. And I posted a video basically saying that they had a right to tell their side of the story, just like Jordan had his in The Last Dance. And I got a lot of comments from a lot of Jordan fanboys, or as some in the YouTube sports community say, JDRs. And a lot of them were PO with me. It's like some of them, not all, I ain't saying all of you, hate watch this video. I'm going to read some of the comments, like this one from Bud's Cartoon. Said, we don't judge MJ and LeBron for what they do outside of 40 minutes on the floor. Sure, we laugh when LeBron puts on his non-prescription civil rights glasses and holds books upside down or stumps for communist China, but we are ultimately here for basketball. We know MJ isn't a perfect man. He was the perfect basketball player, though. And here was my reply. You're talking out both sides of your mouth. You say you're here for basketball, but you're making fun of LeBron, what LeBron does off the court. Plus, you're insulting him as a person. Also, the Jordan you saw in the 90s was very different from the Jordan in the 80s. MJ was an excellent player, not perfect. There's no perfect player, past or present. Shout out to LBZ, my dude LBZ. Y'all subscribe to his channel. There's no such thing as a perfect basketball player. Right. Now, this dude saying we don't care what somebody does outside of the court, but then you sit up and take shots at LeBron for what he does outside of the court with his social activism. Or y'all sit up, or you sit up saying, oh, well, he didn't read the book, he must be stupid. And also, you talking about, well, he stumps for communist China. And y'all love to mention the fact, well, LeBron has his shoes made in China, but so does Jordan. And I never heard y'all criticize that ever. And also Jordan is a part owner of Nike the last time I checked. So why y'all not calling him out? Oh, that's right, because he's y'all hero. He can't do no wrong in some of y'all eyes. And yes, I'm gonna keep saying that. Okay, Deep Wit 10, because these guys play with MJ, having insight that the rest of the world doesn't. But Scottie was a part of 2-3 peats primarily because of MJ's leadership and greatness. This may never surpass. This whole tour makes them look foolish. But you also forgetting Scottie was the main reason why those 2-3 peats happened as well. It wasn't just all Jordan. See, that's what I'm saying. That's why I did that video, because a lot of you act as if Jordan won all these championships by himself. He had nobody else. Scottie Pippen was definitely a part of those 6 championships, just like Jordan was. Scottie hit some key shots. He also got some big rebounds. And also, he played defense most of the time on the other team's best player. And this is what I've been talking about. A lot of you, not all, but a lot of you Jordan fans set up and disrespected Scottie as if he was a scrub, as he didn't do anything in his career. He had no accolades, no all-star appearances, no all-NBA defensive team, He just rode Jordan's coattails. And that's not the case. But a lot of y'all got so caught up in The Last Dance because, one, it was during the pandemic when it aired, and also a lot of you still have this nostalgia bias. A lot of y'all cannot let this part of your childhood go. And y'all just don't want, any negative narrative about Jordan being spat out by anybody. But I'm just saying, I said it in my video, Phil Jackson is taking shots at Michael and Scottie. But y'all don't talk about Phil. Like, come on. That documentary did make Scottie look bad. And also, people forget with Horace Grant. Horace Grant took a lot of heat when the Jordan rules came out back in the 90s from some of his own teammates as well as a lot of the fans, because he had a close relationship with the book's author, then Chicago Times reporter Sam Smith. And a lot of people hated Horace Grant behind that, because they felt like he spilled a lot of the dirty laundry that was going on with the Bulls during their first three-peat. Well, no, excuse me, after their first championship. A lot of people threw shade at Horace Grant. Which was a lot of it was uncalled for. And also, Luke Longley didn't even appear in The Last Dance. Now, I'm sure he had his reasons. So, what was his side of the story? What was his experience like with Jordan? Like, come on. That's why I kind of like Lakers versus Celtics best of enemies a little bit better than The Last Dance, because it got a balanced perspective from the Lakers and the Celtics of the 80s. When that documentary came out, we didn't hear people yelling, "Oh, we just need Bird and Magic's narrative, and that's it." And Kareem's narrative, we didn't need nobody else. But you got a balanced perspective from players on both teams. You heard from, of course, Kareem, but also Robert Parrish, Kevin McHale, Michael Cooper, Gerald Henderson, Byron Scott, ML Carr, Bill Walton, Kirk Rambis, Cedric Maxwell, James Worthy. It wasn't just the Bird and Magic puff piece. You got the whole, rivalry broke down during that time in the 80s where they met constantly in the finals. And everybody, gave their memories, talked about how much they hated each other, how much they wanted to beat each other, how it felt to brag about, getting one up on them, all that stuff. It wasn't just one-sided. Now, yeah, I had a little bit of nostalgia too watching The Last Dance, but also, I do think that team, in the documentary, that team kind of didn't get really what they wanted to say. And I put that more on the filmmakers, because those guys definitely deserve their shine too, and to give more of a balanced perspective of what it was like to be on such a dynasty like that. Yes, we all know Jordan's the anchor. He was the man, but he didn't do it by himself. Come on. He had guys to pass to, like a Steve Kerr, a John Paxson. He had, the dirty work dudes like Horace Grant, Dennis Rodman, Bill Cartwright. They did all of that so they could definitely take the load off of Jordan. That way he wouldn't exhaust himself on both sides of the floor. But y'all keep on thinking that everybody else is fair game, but nobody can ever talk about Jordan. You can never say nothing bad about Jordan, no matter what. Like, come on, man. Yes, he's an excellent player. He's an all-time great, but he ain't invincible. He ain't Teflon Don. He ain't above criticism or ridicule. Okay, and this is from True Colors. And now he definitely got mad at me about this. Got mad. Scotty alienated all his fans by being dishonest about MJ. Thus, he did say nothing but bull to already. Now, me and him got into a discussion about the fact that he said, well, Scotty said MJ was a horrible player, and I asked him to prove. He said I've got defensive like a fanboy. Instead of providing me the proof, he got emotional. Like right here, he tells me prove Scotty didn't say it. Where did he deny the allegation? I said you first. You're the one came here with the allegation. So and that gives me when I tell somebody to show some proof, they don't want to give you the proof. All they want to do is just talk around in circles. It's like provide the proof. I mean, come on, you are a prosecutor prosecuting the case and you don't have no facts, no evidence to back up the reasons why you feel this particular defendant is guilty. Your case is going to be thrown out and that defendant is going to go home free. Then LVZ chimed in, I understand you don't know anything about basketball and all you know is what they tell you, but he said he was a horrible teammate, which is the truth because anybody who doesn't pass the ball isn't a good teammate. I mean, come on. If Scotty did say that, I don't have the proof he said that. But if he did, then that's his experience. I mean, he played with the man for what? 11, 12 years? So they spent a lot of time together, with practices, training camps, playing games in the regular season and in the playoffs. I mean, they were making a lot of deep playoff runs during their time together. So, I mean, come on, when you spend that much time with somebody, you definitely know them well enough. Just like if you were at a job for a long period of time with almost the same co-workers, y'all definitely gonna know each other, definitely gonna get to know each other during that time because that's who you're around the most. I mean, come on, we're around our co-workers more than our own families. I mean, look, if you feel Jordan's the GOAT, fine. If you're an MJ fan, that's cool. But also, don't try to make this narrative as if MJ's perfect and he's the end all be all, and what his word is gospel. That's not, it ain't like that. There are three sides to every story. But with a lot of y'all, when it comes to this, you only want to listen to the side that you want to listen to. You don't want to hear the other sides of the story. You want to listen to that side, to Michael Jordan's side, because he's your guy. And you feel, well, that's the GOAT. You can't go against the GOAT. Like, that's not true. I mean, he has his flaws and blemishes like any other all-time great player. And that's even with Kobe, RIP, LeBron, Steph, KD, Magic, Kareem, Bird. That's all of them. There's no perfect basketball player. I mean, they're all excellent. They're all great, but they're not perfect. And it's time to stop all this goofy stuff here on the internet. Like, also, start doing research for yourself instead of just what they tell you. Because that's where a lot of this came from. It's coming from the media. It's also coming from a lot of creators on YouTube. And also, a lot of y'all got gassed up by the Last Dance documentary. A lot of y'all got gassed up by that. Like I said, yeah, it was great nostalgia seeing some of that footage. I'll admit, I got a little bit nostalgic myself. But I also know that's not the end all be all. I wonder what things were left on the cutting room floor, and also what things that the other Bulls didn't get out in that documentary. So I said what I said. Those three have a right to tell their side of the story, just like Jordan had a right to tell his side of the story. And one person commented, well, they messing up their legacies. Well, heck, according to most of y'all feel they don't have legacies anyway, because y'all feel, well, Michael Jordan created their legacies. But on the flip side, they also helped create Michael Jordan's legacy too. Because if it wasn't for them, he wouldn't have 6 championships. Especially without Scottie Pippen, because I remember seeing a comment on someone else's channel. I'm not going to say the creator's name, but this one, they said, well, Jordan could have won with anybody. That's not true, because if that's the case, he would have definitely won with those teams he had in the 80s. He would have found a way to get past the Pistons and the Celtics and the Bucks, but he didn't. So I stand on what I said. I stand on everything I said in that video. These three, they got a right to tell their story about their time with the Bulls in the 90s, just like MJ did. And just like Scottie Pippen did in his book. He had a right to tell he had a right to tell his side of the story. So if y'all feel a certain way about it, then why are y'all talking about it so much? If y'all feel that they're being weak and being soft and it's making them look foolish, why are y'all commenting on it? Why are you commenting on it on social media? Why are you even commenting on it on my channel? That says a lot more about you than it does Scottie Pippen, Horace Grant, and Luke Longley. That says a lot more about you than it does those three. Because, I mean, nobody asked you to comment, but you decided to comment anyway. And also, like the old saying goes, a hit dog will holler. All right, I'm going to take a quick time out. I'll be back and tell you what's on my mind, so don't go away. All right, good people. I was gonna wrap up this with a "What's on My Mind" segment, but I really got to get out of here. There's some things I got to do, but I appreciate all y'all for hanging out with me on this late night while you tuned in on YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, and Twitch. Just appreciate you taking time out your night to hang out with me for a while. Tomorrow I'll be doing the live stream for the 76ers Celtics game at 7 o'clock. So I won't be back with another show until Wednesday night. So y'all check me out back here tomorrow. Until then, y'all have a good one. Love y'all to life. Salute. Y'all be safe. Enjoy the rest of your night. Enjoy your day. I'm out. See y'all tomorrow.